Hi and welcome to Project Marlin. You find me out in the beautiful Wiltshire countryside on a bit of a byway. I'm going to introduce to you another bit of the fleet. This wasn't and isn't and hopefully will not become a project. It's never intended to be. It's actually the vehicle I drive to work and back in every day. It's my car. It's replaced the Freelander that I had briefly. And here it is. So, as you can see, we've got another Land Rover. So if you remember, you might remember back to the blue V8 that I had. I absolutely loved it. It was a fantastic car. Not everybody's taste. The modifications I did to it meant it was definitely not to a lot of people's taste. But I like the utilitarianness of the old Land Rovers. I don't like. I like the fact that I find them comfortable. Actually, I was going to say that the fact that they're not comfortable, but I find them comfortable. I like the way they drive. I like driving them. My first car was a Series 2A truck cab, short wheelbase. I've got to admit, I prefer long wheelbases, and I like the look of the military ones. Ever since I remember when this particular spec came out to the military and seen it in the Land Rover magazines when I was a kid, always thought they looked really cool. Spare wheel on the side, the custom hard top on them, the tools on the bonnet. It's always been something that I've liked. It's like even down to the tyres, the G90 tyres on them. So a little bit about this one. This one is a 110 long wheelbase. It's properly called in the military a TUM, which is Truck Utility Medium. It's what they call FFR, so it was fitted for radio, or it was, which means this one's got twin alternators, one to charge radio batteries, one to charge the vehicle batteries. It should have a load of the extra batteries are all missing, and the racking for the radios is all missing out the back. This has been out of service for quite a few years now. It must have been one of the first of the 110s actually released by the military, because I'm the second. Well, technically I'm the third civilian owner, but the second owner was actually a dealer. So yeah, so this actually was owned by Tanks a Lot. If you've seen them, they actually did a Facebook video, like a Facebook test drive of it, back at the end of last year, which is I saw the video while I was looking around for a Land Rover. Quite fancied a Wolf. This one was relatively cheap as Wolves go. There again, it looks tidy, but it's not as tidy as it looks. Perfectly roadworthy. All the lights work, brakes work, steers fine. Just lots and lots of little bits. It's had a respray, but it's the respray. It's like they painted over bits of moss and things, but it was resprayed and bits and pieces. But it looks smart from a distance. We've got the Pioneer tools on the bonnet, which look really cool. I want to sand down the wooden handles and paint the metalwork on them black. We've got radio mounts, aerial mounts on the front there. Got military bumper, military guards on the lights. You can see it's got the cooled R380 gearbox in it, which is a military thing, having the cooling pump on there, I believe. Got military tie downs and big heavy steering guard. I think the front axle's reinforced, I'm not sure. I can't really be bothered to climb underneath to find out right at this moment. This one's what they call the Remus upgrade, so it went through a refurbishment program. I had a few extra bits put onto it. The snorkel, originally there would have been a Wolf vent, what they call the Wolf style inlet vent on this side. Obviously it's had the snorkel put on, which seems to have been a Remus upgrade thing, I think. I'll show you what I mean by the Wolf vent. We'll go over this side just quickly. So this is the Wolf vent on the side here. There's supposed to be one on either side, and the idea was when one goes underwater it starts sucking air from the other side, because the chance of you having both underwater would be slim, was the idea. Obviously they decided that wasn't quite the case and they put snorkels on. Wolf wheels, which are the I think Land Rover call them XD, it's extra duty. The whole truck is actually theoretically an extra duty high spec in Land Rover terms. Goodyear G90 tyres, which are the original military pattern. A lot of people hate them. I don't think they're too bad. This one drives really well. The tyres are noisy in this warm weather. On smooth tarmac they are horrendously noisy, but that's, for me, that's part of the charm of a Land Rover. We've got the spare wheel mounted up on the side of the hardtop with an extra long wing mirror, so it clears. You see here there's actually that was the vent for the extra batteries. Got a locker here for storing jerry cans. So on this side you'd have fuel. I've got one in there that's empty. I need to fill up for the Marshall for next weekend. Another aerial mount. You'll notice on this hardtop, a normal Land Rover hardtop has a seam along here, like a pressed guttering. And that's because they're metal and they're made out of two or three pieces that are pressed together, and they always leak. Even well looked after ones, after a while they start leaking between the seam, and it runs forward on the because there's an internal gutter on them, and you hit the brakes and you get soaking wet. This is actually a composite plastic top, which is a military thing. Not sure why they went for it. It might have been to lighten them, because these are heavier than a normal Defender. The chassis is pretty heavily reinforced. It's got extra cross members in. The floor's reinforced. The actual floor matting in the cab is thicker than standard. The rubber floor matting is thicker than normal, for extra sound deadening, because health and safety said they were too noisy. We've got up here, we've got little bits to open up to pass cables through for your radios and that. Obviously the light setup on the back of them is different to a standard Land Rover. This is 24 volt, this one, so you can't put normal car bulbs on it. If we did put a trailer on it, you couldn't plug a normal caravan in with, because the lights wouldn't work without converting it. Military bumperettes, bit bent. It has had a thump in the rear at some point. It also should have a door, not a tailgate and a flap. The flap's been put on recently, I believe. Tailgate looks like it's been on there a while. That might have been done in military service. The flap wasn't. Yeah, military tow bar on there at the minute. It'll probably stay on, because I'm not going to tow with it, I doubt, unless I get a military trailer. So it's got a rear anti-roll bar, which not all Land Rovers had. It's actually got rear disc brakes, which on this age is not standard. That's a military thing at this age. White painted diff, because it's got a light that shines on it for when you're in operations and you're in a blacked out convoy, so your mate behind you can see where you are. So that's pretty cool. Again, this side is a bit cleaner without the spare wheel on there. You do sometimes see them between twin spare wheel carriers, one either side, and you can put one on the bonnet if you need to. But the reason they put it on the side was they decided it made the bonnet too heavy with the tools and that on there. So again, another locker on this side. This one got water jerry can in it. It's supposed to have water cans in, 2 water cans in here, 2 jerry cans on the other side. There's holes in the bumper, holes on the back, holes on the side. They're for poles for your cam net. You've got split part military style doors, which actually are basically the same as the very early Defenders. Well, not Defenders, sorry. The early 90 and 110s, before they called them a Defender. There is actually a distinction. But this has got the earlier style doors on it, because that's what the military wanted. It was simpler, easier to repair. You can take the top, if you take the top off, you can take the top need to put my teeth back in, you can take the door tops off. So a couple of bolts with the door open, you can actually take this whole piece off. I think that's meant to be black, not green, but as I said, it has had a blow over. Trying to think where I'm up to with what makes it a bit different to a normal Land Rover. Oh, the suspension's heavier duty. There's a lot of things on here heavier duty. I'll show you inside quickly. This one is a Remus upgrade, so the dog doesn't come standard with a military Land Rover, not unless you're part of the dog section. They all had a rear roll cage. People say they're not a proper roll frame, but they're actually a genuine safety devices bolt-in cage. They do have brackets underneath. They bolt to the bodywork and to the floor, but underneath the floor there are brackets that then go to the chassis. So they are a proper roll cage. I've seen a video of one of these rolling over, and it survived much better than a standard Land Rover would have, to be honest. Mounts for your rifle, so your driver and commander's rifle. behind me gear here, there's some more boxes to do with split charging. Got a very grumpy Esme. We've got an extra ammeter. That's charge and discharge for your radio batteries. That doesn't work because there's no radio batteries, it's not connected up. Map light at the moment doesn't work. Military lighting switch. Yeah, this has got a 6-way switch in it. It should do blackout, headlights, taillights, things like that. At the moment it's been wired, someone's rewired it so it works more like a civilian lighting switch. But they've caused other problems, I think, by doing that. So I need to look at it at some point. Under the dog's blanket, there's a bracket for some more radio gear. That's the hand throttle, although it did work. But that feels like something's broken. It's not actually attached to anything at the moment. Speedo in kilometres. We've got our little blackout flap. Front part of the cage put in as part of the upgrade, along with the snorkel and that. And yeah, that's about it. One thing that's a bit different on this one is the black lump here. That's something I've made because the heater fan's not working at the moment. So driving along, it acts as a bit of a scoop for air through the heater. Helps to it was helping in the winter defrosting it, because I've had this since beginning of February. The number plate on it, I'm not driving about with those on. I'm not quite as daft as that. I am very daft, but I'm not as daft as that. That was its original ERM, so it's military equivalent of a registration number when it was in service. I believe that it served down at Tidworth on Salisbury Plain with the 1st Battalion Royal Regiment of Fusiliers. Not 100% sure of that. I'm going to try and do a Freedom of Information Act request, but because it's been out for so long, it's possible the details aren't available. But I've slapped those plates on for this video, and when we go to steam rallies and shows, we'll put those plates on because it looks cool with its military plates on. I've got the decals coming as well. There's a load of decals missing off the side of this where it's been repainted. So the tyre pressure decals, aerial warning decals, and the Union Jack flags, they're all in the post, hopefully on their way. And yeah, so that's the Land Rover. You might get the odd video on the Land Rover. It's not going to be not meant to be a project. I'm fully aware because I've owned Land Rovers before. There's no such thing as a Land Rover that isn't a project. They come out of the factory needing to be repaired and sorted out. I do have a couple of Land Rover based video ideas. They're not going to be working on it, but I've got these ideas. I think it'd be a pretty cool video, and I've got to make videos that I want to make because it's fun. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy working on stuff as well, but I enjoy making these videos. So they're going to come up. We're going to try and get some more work done on the Marlin soon. We're into show season now. I've got at least one show a month now until the end of August. A lot of months we've got a couple of shows, so there's a couple of weekends away. If you're going to any of the shows in the southwest, I'm planning to be at we've got the little vintage show down at Cambridge on the A38 just south of Gloucester. That one will be coming out, this video will be coming out on Thursday, so you could be watching this on Thursday. If you're watching this the day it's released, it's actually this weekend coming. So from where I am today in real life, it's next weekend for me. So that's that one. We're going to be at the Gloucestershire Vintage Extravaganza, I think it's called, at South Cerney Air Base near Cirencester. Later on in the year, we're going to be at the Wiltshire Agricultural Preservation Society's Steam Rally, which is being held at Devizes this year. Quite excited about that. We're doing Castle Combe Steam Rally. That's a very local one for us. Really excited about that one. I haven't exhibited at Steam Rally for quite a few years, but when I was a kid, Castle Combe was the one. Every year we did it. We went I think it was the second or third year they ran a steam rally there that as a kid we went to and exhibited, and it's one I love going to. It's quite a nice little rally. So we're doing those. We're also doing, what else are we doing? Oh, there's the Rona Rally and the Dauncey Festival of Transport. They are both in Dauncey near Chippenham. They're both local rallies to me again. They're on different sites. I'm quite excited to be going to both of those. Last year they were on the same weekend, which was a bit of a shame. This year they're actually a month apart. So Rona's first, which I think it's July. Then Dauncey Festival of Transport is August Bank Holiday weekend. So we're doing those. A couple of other things we're doing. Take the Marshall to a car meet next week. I was going to take it to the hot rod one in Swindon, but I've heard they turn tractors up. They won't let the tractors in. So I thought it'd be a bit of fun, but I'm not driving through the middle of Swindon if I'm going to get turned away. So yeah, probably won't. There might be the odd video to do with the rallies and things, and us maybe driving there on the Marshall, and maybe Joe taking the Land Rover, because we're taking the Land Rover around the Marshall to these events. If you're there and you spot me, say hello. It'd be nice to meet people, say hello to people. I like to talk, because you obviously know that, because you've managed to listen to me ramble for over 15 minutes now. And yeah, really excited for this year. So quite pepped up that we've got the Marlin to start and run. Couldn't believe how easy that was. I mean, it's just testament to the engineering in those engines. They're fantastic. And yeah, I'm quite excited to try and get a bit more done on that. I need to get a bit of money together and get some steel so we can start trying to do a bit of plating in the cab. I'm excited to take this to a couple of shows. Excited to try and find its history out. Very excited to take the Marshall to some shows. This one, the Cambridge one, I'm actually convoying down with another Marshall and another tractor, which will probably be a Ford Major. Quite excited about that. Should be a real laugh. Anyway, thanks for putting up with listening to me for this long, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Cheerio.